Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Global English Podcast. I'm your host, Lisa, and today we're diving into a topic that feels more relevant than ever in today's fast-paced world: how to stay focused in a distracted world. Whether it's social media notifications, endless emails, or simply the chatter of our own thoughts, staying focused can feel like an uphill battle. To help us explore this topic, I've invited John, a productivity coach and author of Mastering Focus in the Digital Age. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Lisa. It's great to be here. I'm excited to share some practical tips and insights to help your listeners regain their focus and take back control of their time.
We're thrilled to have you. Let's jump in and tackle this challenge together. John, these days it feels harder than ever to stay focused. There are so many distractions around us. If someone is just starting to improve their focus, where should they begin?
That's a really common concern, Lisa, and it's a great question. The first step is to focus on just one task at a time. Many people try multitasking because they think it helps them get more done, but it often does the opposite. When you multitask, your brain keeps switching between tasks, and this reduces your ability to concentrate. Instead, beginners should focus on doing just one thing at a time.
That sounds simple, but it must be hard to do when you have so many things on your to-do list.
It can feel that way at first, but there are tools to make it easier. One of the best is the Pomodoro technique. This method helps you focus on one task for a set time, usually 25 minutes, before taking a short 5-minute break. It's like training your brain to work in focused bursts, and it's great for beginners because 25 minutes feels manageable.
I like the idea of working in short sessions. Is there a way to make it even more flexible?
Absolutely. If 25 minutes feels too long, you can try something like the Flomodoro. It's similar to the Pomodoro, but allows you to adjust the focus time based on how much concentration you can handle. For example, you might start with 15 minutes of focus, then gradually increase it as you get better at staying on task.
That sounds like a great starting point. I've tried multitasking before, and it just left me feeling stressed and like I wasn't really accomplishing anything.
Exactly, Lisa. Multitasking not only slows you down, but also increases mental fatigue. Focusing on one task at a time helps you feel more in control and less overwhelmed. Another key to improving focus is learning to tolerate boredom.
What do you mean by tolerate boredom?
Sometimes when we're doing something repetitive or not very exciting, we start to feel bored. Instead of pushing through, many of us look for distractions, like checking our phones or scrolling social media. This trains your brain to avoid focus and look for quick rewards instead. If you can sit with that feeling of boredom and stay on task, you'll find it easier to focus over time.
That makes so much sense. I've definitely caught myself reaching for my phone when I feel bored with a task.
It happens to all of us, Lisa. That's why it's also important to make your environment work for you. Start by creating a workspace that's free from distractions. For example, if your phone is a major distraction, leave it in another room or use apps that block notifications while you're working. Sometimes even something as simple as having a clear desk can help signal your brain that it's time to focus.
That's such a good idea. It's easy to forget how much our surroundings can affect our concentration.
Absolutely. And another important step is knowing when to take breaks. Rest is just as important as focus because it helps recharge your energy and prevent burnout. After completing a big task or working for a long time, give yourself a proper break. Step outside, take a short walk, or simply stretch. This makes it easier to return to your work with a fresh mind.
That makes a lot of sense. But what if someone still feels overwhelmed with too many tasks?
That's a great question. When you're overwhelmed, start by asking yourself, what's the one thing I can do right now that will have the biggest impact? Focusing on one important task helps you make progress without getting distracted by smaller, less important ones. Once you've identified it, give it your full attention even if it means saying no to other things for the moment.
I like that. It's about simplifying things and not trying to do everything at once.
Exactly, Lisa. And don't forget to be kind to yourself in the process. Building focus is a skill, and like any skill, it takes time and practice to improve. You might not be perfect every day, but every small step you take helps.
Thank you for sharing these tips, John. They feel practical and achievable, even for someone just starting out.
You're welcome, Lisa. Remember, improving your focus is a journey. Start small, stay consistent, and celebrate your progress along the way. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish with just a little effort each day.
John, let's take a quick break to share a fun fact with our listeners. Did you know that the average human attention span is now only 8 seconds? That's actually shorter than a goldfish's attention span, which is about 9 seconds.
Wow, Lisa. That's surprising and a little worrying at the same time. It shows how much harder it's become to focus in today's world.
Exactly. With so many distractions around us, like social media and constant notifications, it's no wonder our attention spans are getting shorter.
It's true, but the good news is we can train our focus. By turning off distractions, taking short breaks, and practicing mindfulness, we can improve how long we stay focused.
That's a great point, John. This fun fact really reminds us how precious our attention is and why we need to take care of it.
Absolutely, Lisa. It's a skill we can strengthen if we work on it every day.
To all our listeners, remember this. Even though 8 seconds feels short, every small effort to stay focused adds up. Let's make the most of our attention. John, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing these valuable insights. Staying focused in a distracted world may not be easy, but with the right strategies, it's definitely achievable.
My pleasure, Lisa. To everyone listening, remember, focus is a skill, and like any skill, it gets better with practice. Take small steps and don't be too hard on yourself.
Wise words to end on. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to Global English Podcast. And as always, stay focused and keep growing. See you next time. All right, everyone. Before we dive deeper into today's topic, how to stay focused in a distracted world, let's take a look at some key vocabulary that will help us better understand the strategies for maintaining focus in this fast-paced, distraction-filled world. These words and phrases are essential not only for today's discussion, but also for applying focus techniques to your everyday life. Let's get started. Distracted. Meaning, unable to concentrate because of interruptions or competing thoughts. Example, it's hard to stay focused when you're constantly distracted by social media. Multitasking. Meaning, the act of performing more than one task at the same time. Example, multitasking often leads to lower quality of work because your attention is divided. Mental fatigue. Meaning, exhaustion caused by prolonged cognitive effort. Example, after hours of studying, I was hit with mental fatigue and needed a break. Tolerate. Meaning, to endure or accept something, often something unpleasant. Example, it's important to tolerate boredom to avoid constantly looking for distractions. Burnout. Meaning, physical or mental exhaustion caused by overwork or stress. Example, working non-stop without breaks can lead to burnout. Overwhelmed. Meaning, feeling burdened by too many tasks or emotions. Example, I feel overwhelmed by the number of tasks I need to complete today. Simplifying. Meaning, making something easier or less complicated. Example: by simplifying my to-do list, I was able to focus on the most important tasks. Mindfulness. Meaning: the practice of being fully present and aware of your thoughts and surroundings. Example: practicing mindfulness helps you avoid distractions and stay engaged in your tasks. Attention span. Meaning: the length of time a person is able to focus on a task without becoming distracted. Example: the average attention span is shorter than ever, making it harder to stay focused for long periods. Thank you for listening to our episode. I hope you learned something new and helpful today. Please give us a like and subscribe for video like this, share it with your friends, and let us know what you think in the comments section below. We'll be back with more interesting discussions soon.